Hi, Rashad. My name is Kristen. I thank you for coming in today.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing today?
Fine.
Good. Well, I want you to know that this session is being recorded because I am a counseling student. At any time, if you feel uncomfortable with the recording, you can ask me to stop and I will stop. My supervisor and my instructors will be viewing this video. And if you like, you can get a copy of it yourself, and I can also type up a transcript for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, when you made the appointment, you mentioned you were having some problems with long-term goals. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Yes, I don't know, I know what I want to do,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know how to accomplish.
Okay, and when you say you know what you want to do, you're feeling some kind of confusion about a career goal, or is this
Yes, career.
a career goal? Well, what do you currently do, Rashad, may I ask?
Well, right now, working like at a salvage yard, so I got a forklift, things like that, bobcat sometimes.
Okay, so you like working big, heavy machinery.
Yes, I do.
Okay, and may I ask what prompted you to apply for that job? Is this something you enjoy doing?
Yes, well, it was my uncle. He owns his own trucking business or whatever.
Okay.
So what he does is he does basically the same thing. All he does is we sort metal to make we sell high quality metal from low quality metal.
Okay.
But here, as opposed to my uncle who deals with all types, they mainly deal with high class metal.
I understand. So you selected this type of work because it's familiar to you.
Yes.
Okay. And are you dissatisfied because you're wanting something different now? Is this not a comfort zone for you anymore?
I was just I want more. Like what I mean by more is I want to have better options for my family,
I
so I can
see.
be able to, maybe move them to wherever they would like.
Okay, so if I'm understanding you correctly, you like what you're doing, but you feel like there's no growth for you there.
Yes.
Okay, I see. So what is it about the job that you like the most? Is it the pay, or is it the type of work that you're doing? I'm sensing dissatisfaction, so I'm wondering, is it just because there's no growth there, or is it financial you're worried about long term, or?
A little bit of both, probably like the most growth you can get, is probably like, you can become a manager or whatever, but I don't see myself becoming there anytime soon because it's only, 5 to 6 people that work.
I see. So it's a small company.
Yeah.
That limits your options then.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Okay. And are you receiving health benefits there, and you feel like you can plan a future otherwise?
I don't actually know about our health policy. I believe we are because, they took it out of my check.
I see. Okay. So when you're looking to make your next move, I'm understanding you want more financial security, and it sounds like you want some room to grow, and it sounds like you maybe want some more challenges than you have right now. Okay. And are you looking for another career, or are you looking for possibly being an entrepreneur and having something of your own? Yeah.
Well, that is the goal, to have something of my own.
Yes.
I can pass down.
Right, because I picked up on some pride in your voice when you spoke of your uncle and what he has done with his skills. I'm assuming he owned his own shop.
Yes, he does.
Right, and you place a lot of value on that.
Yes.
Being independent. I see.
It's just, and he gave me a lot of advice, as to, just knowledge about life in general. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I see that, different things like won't bother him, shake him up too much,
I see.
because he just knows that, after a while, maybe the next paycheck, he'll be back on top of it. Or the next two, for that matter. He's back to where, he was before, because he got his own, on his own.
Okay, so let me get this right. Are you defining success by being independent? Well, how do you define successful?
Well, I feel being successful is doing something you enjoy to do.
Okay.
Because if you're doing something you love to do, it's not work. It's just.
But you love what you do currently, and it's still not enough.
Yeah,
so you want to take it a step further. Yeah. So being successful is more than doing what you want to do. It's being able to live comfortably financially then?
Yeah.
Okay,
As
and
well.
then it sounds like you value the fact that your uncle was able to teach you things. And it sounds like you want then to be able to teach the next generation in your family and pass that down.
Yeah.
I see, and you feel like you can't do that now. Right. Okay, and have you considered what kind of business you would want to start?
Well, talking about automotive, like working on cars,
Okay.
or even diesel mechanic, any type of mechanic,
Okay.
that, and a partner of mine was talking about, having a meat shop. I don't know like where that would take me or nothing like that.
And that's
But I
very
feel like
different
it's a
from
good,
automotive.
yes, it is. I just feel like, with him it'll be a good investment. Like,
Okay.
my main thing would be automotive. You know what I mean?
Because that's what you love to do.
Yes.
I see.
And that would just be something to branch out, venturing something new. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
because it would be a good investment, a good safe investment, something to leave your family.
yeah.
I see. Okay, so what do you think you would be more comfortable doing? Do you feel like if you did this meat shop or this butcher store, do you feel like you would get personal fulfillment from it? Because you aren't necessarily getting that now, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and do you think you would get personal fulfillment from the actual work, or was it just the idea of having your own?
That I don't, well, I don't really know because, I've never just firsthand dealt with meat, so I don't know, like, it might be something that interests me.
So it appeals to you right now because you would be independent of job, per se. Okay. Well, let's go back to your automotive passion. So do you have any schooling in that area?
No.
Okay, and have you had college education?
Yeah, so not with automotive.
Oh, and what did you do then?
Well, a couple of things. Well, I had one major that was physical therapy.
Okay.
Another one was electrical engineering.
Okay.
And that's something I like as well.
I can tell, yes.
And then I had aircraft structure technology, which is learning how to build planes.
Okay, so you love to work with your hands, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what attracted you to physical therapy?
Well, I think that was mainly just because I was, I was going to college. I didn't really know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, 17.
Mm-hmm.
I knew what I wanted to do, but they didn't have a major to it.
And what was that at the time?
Well, at the time, that was electric. They're trying to get to
I
that.
see.
I knew I wanted to do that, to go to school to do it, but, I ended up not liking physical therapy.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
It's very different from the other careers that you spoke on, yes.
Yeah, and I feel like it could have been decent and, good at it or whatever, but I just feel like it's not a passion of mine.
Right, so you're looking to actually work with your passion and make a life that way.
Yeah.
That's living to you, doing what you love to do and being able to provide.
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as advancement where you are now, are there any educational opportunities? Do they have any type of, reimbursement for you to go to school to learn something else?
No.
Oh, okay, so you would be on your own doing this. Which can be good. I mean, a lot of people do it. Yeah, I would do it myself. Absolutely. So when you consider owning a business, do you feel like you need more education? Do you feel like that's a hindrance to you?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But the reason being because it's people that, has years, on top of years of experience.
Right.
I say knowledge of it or went to school to go do it. But then when they get out on their own, they don't thrive or whatever. They don't be what they want to be.
Yeah.
I don't feel as if the school, I feel like it might be able to help you, but I feel like majority of it is you can study, different growth and look at different things, what's growing, or the type of business that's growing in your area, or the type of things that you can mainly study stuff yourself. To have a business, because my uncle didn't go to, he didn't go to college for business, things like that.
He's quite successful.
Yes.
What do you feel is your biggest obstacle right now?
Well, I feel my biggest obstacle would probably be trying to find a schedule. like so I can work, go to school, things like that, and then be able to,
So you're struggling to find a balance between working for a living and striking out on your own and trying to make your own living. I see, yeah, because you've hinted that you have a family. So to strike out on your own would be essentially taking them with you and taking away their security. It sounds like that's a concern for you as well. Have you talked to your significant other about some of these feelings that you're having, about this dissatisfaction and wanting to do other things?
Well, sometimes probably not all the way, you know what I mean? Because there's some things I feel like, you know, I don't know, I might be overthinking or something like that
I see.
sometimes. But, I do talk to her.
And is she supportive of your ideas?
Very, you know what I mean? She's always encouraging me to do better.
Very good.
You know what I mean? And I like that about it, but I just don't want to leave everything on her. You know what I mean? For what she feels. So if she doesn't do it, then it's going to be fine.
Has she expressed that feeling?
Well, no, to a certain extent, but not really. What I mean is, she's very stressed out. You can tell that.
I see.
It's
finances then.
Yeah.
I see. Well, that's a common problem with every household in America, just about. So have you discussed actually sitting down and making a plan to see if you could strike out on your own, and would she be able to carry the family for a while?
Well, not really. Not on just striking out. We've discussed different business opportunities.
Okay.
See what we both want to do. I mean, as far as probably striking out on my own, or like getting, like saying the whole what I want to do. No. What I mean? A lot of that has to do with, we got 2 kids together.
Sure, absolutely. But at the same time, it sounds like everything that you want to do is for them as well.
Yeah.
So that's trying to find a balance between doing them good and doing them harm. You don't want to take away their stability, but at the same time, you want to give them more than you can offer them right now. Yeah, that's a hard thing to deal with. Okay. So as far as making a plan, I think maybe that you should talk to your partner. Are you afraid that she may not be enthusiastic?
No.
You're afraid of failing, perhaps?
Well, to a certain extent, I just, I feel like if I go out and I don't make it, it would be a failure to them. You know what I mean? I don't want to fail them in no type of way because, I'm supposed to be able to provide for them.
Right.
But I just, and I'm not going to say it's just me afraid to fail, you know what I mean? Because I know you have to take a chance.
Sure. Yeah, business is about risk.
Yeah.
Most of life is.
But I think the thing, I just want to, I guess I put more pressure on myself than anything because I just want to try to be better. So I just, and I think about, I guess I'm more of a realist. I try to think about the good as opposed to the bad too.
Well, culturally, there's a lot expected of you as a black man. You may feel like you have to prove your manliness even more so than if you were a white male. So taking that step and then failing is a big weight for you to carry for your culture as well, not just individually.
Yes.
Okay, Rashad, well, I feel like we've talked a lot today. If I'm correct, you're feeling dissatisfied at work. You want to establish some long-term goals to better your family and leave something for your children the way, you were taught to do. And it sounds like you might be putting a lot of pressure on yourself because of society's expectations of you and your cultural implications there. Is that all correct?
That's true.
All right. And what do you think we need to work on at our next session?
Probably me figuring out a way so I can achieve my goal.
Okay.
Or how I can just not put so much pressure on myself, you know what I mean?
Very good.
I mean, which I understand, I gotta have some to be, to be better than what I want to be, but it's not to put so much on it that, put too much on my plate at one time.
Well, Rashad, I want to leave you with some homework this time. I think I want you to start making a list of the reasons why you want to do this, and go over that list when you feel any type of fear or uncertainty, and try to come up with a plan to talk to your partner about what it is you think you want to do and how it would benefit the family. Okay, I think focusing on those positives will keep some of the fear at bay. It's natural to feel uncertain when making a major life decision, but I think if you focus on your purpose for it all, things are going to fall into place for you. Okay, I'll see you next time. Thanks for speaking.
All right, bye.